Welcome everybody to look at the first film in the Columbia Noir #7 box set, and it is 1955's A Prize of Gold. So this is directed by Mark Robson, who I've seen 11 other films from, a mix of horror, action and film noir in his filmography from what I've seen. Favourites being the likes of The Harder They Fall, Champion, Von Ryan's Express, Isle of the Dead and Bedlam. So this is a film noir crime film, clocking in at 98 minutes long, the longest in the box set itself. And yeah, it stars Richard Widmark, who I've seen in 19 other films now. We recently talked about him with the likes of Murder on the Orient Express, but other favourites from him would be the likes of Judgment at Nuremberg, Night in the City, No Way Out, Panic in the Streets, and Twilight's Last Gleaming. Also stars May Zerteling, who was in Abandoned Ship, The Man Who Finally Died, Jetstorm, and the 1990 version of The Witches. Stars also Nigel Patrick, who was in The Executioner, Battle of Britain, which we would have been talking about this month had the imprint release of that not been delayed to next month, which is a bit of a shame, as well as The League of Gentlemen, and finally George Cole, who was in The Vampire Lovers and The Green Man. So Sergeant Lawrence is a military officer stationed in Berlin after World War II. He meets and falls in love with an East German refugee named Maria, who wants to relocate with a group of German orphans to South America, more precisely Brazil. Along with Sergeant Hamill, Joe plans to steal a shipment of gold en route to England to finance the move. So, although this isn't the strongest film noir effort, especially in terms of starting off a box set, this one is nonetheless still able to offer a solid mix of drama and action. The cast is also really good. The pacing is on point. The action is solid, especially when it comes to a certain plane crash, which is a really rather neat miniature. There is a full size plane when after the crash, but yeah, it's a neat miniature that crashes into a car, and yeah, it looks really cool. I'm really a fan of miniatures, regardless. The initial setting of Berlin, because it eventually moves to England for the robbery and stealing of the gold. So the initial setting of in Berlin in a ruined state heavily reminded me of the Deffer Rubble films that were reviewed earlier this year in the what's it called, Rack and Ruin box set from Eureka. So it heavily reminded me of that, especially since there's also children in this that are obviously orphaned and in a dire state, much like with the films in that box set. There is some decent tension. It is generally engaging, and the cinematography is serviceable. Nothing majorly special though, but it is nonetheless a worthy watch regardless, despite that. So, yeah, on the whole, a 3.5 out of 5. Not spectacular, but still a decent enough start. The main issues with this, though, is the fact that it's in, I think it's Technicolor, color regardless, and that does not do it any real service in terms of some of the production elements, because there's a lot of scenes where characters are clearly not in the actual setting that the film is set in. So it's got fake backgrounds or blue screen projection or rear projections scenes, and you can quite clearly see the outline around people and such, the blue outline generally, which wouldn't be a problem if it was in black and white. You most likely wouldn't be able to notice that, but being in color, you can see those outlines, and that does take me out of the film a little bit. And then there's the fact that the film itself, even though it has had a high definition remaster, does still look like it needs proper restoration work, as there's a lot of lines and flicker on the picture itself. So, yeah, which again wouldn't be as much of an issue in black and white, but with being in color, it does show up a lot more. So, yeah, that's a little bit of a shame. But it also has the original mono audio, which does sound decent still. It's got no problems with that. Audio commentary also with film historians Furza Wakefield and Melanie Williams from 2025. Then you got the BEHP interview with Bill Leithwaite from 2008, clocking at 109 minutes long. So that's an archival video recording made as part of the British Entertainment History Project, featuring the prolific editor in conversation with Glyn Jones. Then you got Golden Opportunity from 2020 that clocks in at 14 minutes long. That's an archival interview with clapper loader Jeff Glover, who fondly recalls his first ever experience on a film set. Then you got Stealing Hearts from 2025, clocking in at 15 minutes long. So that's from academic and film historian Lise Lankman, provides an in-depth exploration of A Prize of Gold with a focus on its qualities as a city-based film noir. Original theatrical trailer, image gallery, new and improved English subtitles, and it's a world premiere on Blu-ray. So, yeah, I can appreciate that it is a world premiere on Blu-ray, but it could definitely have done with some restoration work, quite frankly. Because, yeah, like I said, the picture quality at times, although still watchable, and you know it's not obscuring anything that's going on, is still nonetheless not as good as it could have been. So yeah, that's a little bit of a shame, but still 3.5 out of 5, like I said, for the film. Decent enough start to the box set, but not the not as lightning of a start as has been in the past with perhaps some other box sets. So yeah, but hopefully the release of itself picks up through the next few films, and yeah, still confident that the rest of the films will be good. This is the only film in colour, so if there are any issues with the picture quality of the other films, it probably won't show up nearly as much. So yeah, yeah, the next film we'll be reviewing in this box set is The Last Man to Hang. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one, especially since it is from director Terence Fisher, and yeah, it does have a couple of cast members that I have wanted to see in earlier films for quite some time. So yeah, looking forward to that. But if you have seen A Prize of Gold, then I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.